People don't respect you for one reason, and it's that you don't enforce boundaries. And when you learn how to set boundaries, this will change your life forever. In this video, I will teach you a simple 4-step framework for setting boundaries. The problem today is that most men have weak boundaries. They are too scared to speak their mind. They avoid confrontation. They have massive nice guy tendencies. And when this happens, people start walking all over you. Maybe you have a manager that calls you on weekends. Maybe you have a friend that's constantly asking you for favors. Maybe you have a girlfriend that complains about minor things all the time. If any of this sounds familiar, don't worry, we will fix that. And if you're watching this video, ask yourself, when was the last time you said no to someone? Hi, my name is James. I've dedicated the last 10 years of my life to self-development. I've greatly developed my physique, built my business, and improved my dating life. In this video, I will show you a very simple and effective 4-step framework for developing and enforcing strong boundaries. And when you do this, nobody will mess with you and you will gain the respect that you deserve. So what are boundaries? Boundaries define what you will and will not accept from others. These are non-negotiable rules that protect you. And when people cross that line, there will be consequences. Boundaries apply to all areas of life. It could be with friends, co-workers, romantic partners. If you are a confident person, you will have strong boundaries and people will respect you. Let's look at what happens when you lack boundaries. You are basically forsaking yourself and allowing others to disrespect you. The classic example of someone with no boundaries is a nice guy. He allows others to constantly piss him off through name calling, playing pranks on him, making fun of him, and the nice guy says nothing while all this is going on. And then one day, the nice guy just erupts and lets out this epic rage that came from all this resentment. And I'll be honest, I was once the nice guy. I was horrible at speaking up and enforcing boundaries. Years ago, I had this crazy colleague at work. Let's say her name is Karen. Karen would constantly make snarky remarks at me. She would say things like, you shouldn't call women buddy. You shouldn't say what's up to people. You shouldn't leave work at this time. You shouldn't eat this or that type of food. Basically, she didn't know how to shut up and mind her own business. But I remained quiet because I didn't want confrontation. And then one day she said something that pushed me over the edge. One morning I showed up to work and she had the audacity to say to me, you're not going to show up at work at 9 and take a 2-hour lunch break and leave work before 5, are you? I was so shocked. This woman was saying shit that was not true and speaking to me as if she was my boss. And then she said, people are watching you. And at that point, I was so pissed off that I erupted in rage and said, you know what? I go to work, I mind my own business. You go to work, why don't you mind your own damn business? And she started to apologize profusely. Oh, I didn't mean to say this. I didn't mean to say that. You know, I'll watch it when I talk to you. And later on, I even had a coworker come up to me and say, James, wow, I've never seen you this angry in public. Please pull her aside to a room next time and talk to her in private. The truth is, that explosion should have never happened. I should have set a boundary much earlier. This type of stuff doesn't happen anymore because now I call out people on their bad behavior on the spot. If someone makes a remark at me that I find offensive, I will let them know and tell them never to do it again. And most times they will stop. And it took a lot of work for me to be able to do that, but we'll get to that in a bit. So what causes people to have weak boundaries? It has a lot to do with childhood upbringings. A lot of times, a lot of us encountered strict parents, bullies, and we were told not to speak up because we would face repercussions. I grew up in a strictly Asian household. My parents always dictated the rules. I had to study all the time. I was not allowed to speak my mind. My parents didn't let me play with other kids on my spare time. And one day I spoke up to my dad and said, I don't like this. I want to be like the other kids. I want to play. And my dad screamed at me and told me that I was basically wasting my life away by wanting to have fun, by playing with other kids and not wanting to study. So naturally, I learned to not speak up because I'd be punished for it. Maybe you can relate. Maybe you had tough parents. Maybe you had bullies at school. But you have to know that the past does not define you, and you can set your own future. Of course, that comes with a lot of inner healing work, and you have to learn how to set boundaries. Before you can apply your own boundaries, you have to know what they are. For example, my boundaries are I don't tolerate disrespect from clients, I don't allow my friends to pressure me to drink, I don't allow others to speak ill of my family. You have to know what your boundaries are. So pause this video and take 5 minutes to write down what your boundaries are. It can be in my professional life, these are my boundaries. In my romantic life, these are my boundaries. In my social life, these are my boundaries. And the funny thing is, when I started enforcing my boundaries and calling people out, people actually respected me for speaking up. I've cut people off for speaking too long in meetings. I've refused to give customers discounts. I've told girls that I'm too busy to go on a date because I have other priorities. I've called out friends for being late. I've had people tell me at the gym that I can't use more than one equipment at a time, and I politely told them to just deal with it and come work in with me. Now here's the thing, most people think you have to be rude and aggressive when setting boundaries, but you don't. And now I'll show you this simple 4-step framework that you can use. Number 1, call out the behavior. Number 2, state your boundary. Number 3, confirm they understand. Number 4, enact consequences if necessary. And that's if they don't acknowledge your boundary or violate it again. Let me show you exactly how this works. Let's say you have a friend that consistently shows up late every time you hang out. You may say something like, hey John, we've been good friends for years and I enjoy your company. However, I feel like you're late most of the times when we hang out. I value my time and I appreciate it if you would show up on time. I hope we are on the same page. So this basically addresses points 1 through 3, which basically serves as a boundary communication, or you may consider it as a gentle reminder. Now, if John doesn't accept your boundary and says, well, hey, that's just who I am, I will always be late because I have other things to do, then you just don't hang out with him anymore because he violated your boundary, and that's your way of exacting the consequence. Or if John shows up late again next time, then you just don't invite him out again. Let's look at another example. Let's say you have a romantic partner who uses personal insults during arguments. You may say something like, hey Annie, I know that couples argue and sometimes it can get very intense, but one of my rules is that I do not accept personal attacks or name callings during arguments. Am I clear? And if they don't acknowledge it or do it again, then you have to enforce that boundary, which could look like, I will not engage in this type of argument, and you keep silent and disengage. Or you may even consider breaking up with them. And trust me, it'll make you a stronger person, and you'll demonstrate to yourself that you respect yourself. A lot of times the other person will start chasing, but you have to be true to your boundaries. You enforce it and you stick to your own rules. You don't do it for them, you do it for yourself. So start applying boundaries using the 4-step framework in all areas of your life, and you'll automatically see how friends, strangers, and romantic partners will automatically start to respect you more. And surprisingly, you'll realize that you are genuinely respecting yourself more. Remember, a boundary only works if it's communicated and enforced. So this week, I want you to set one boundary. It could be at work, it could be with a friend, it could be with a lover, and comment below and tell me what happened. And if you found this video helpful, please subscribe to my channel.